Orange and blue sunset in mile high here in Broncos country. Let's get ready to ride. Russ and the rest are gonna light up the sky. We'll break it down after the game with the guys. Hometown heroes with their own sports bar. The best coverage in Denver. Don't go too far. Just turn on DNVR. We are
DNVR Broncos live, and as my guy I'm Heem Gee says in the comments, presented by DraftKings.
There we
Sportsbook.
go.
Yes.
As we get started here, gotta crack open myself a liquid death.
Oh, I'm cracking open a
You
liquid
sure
death as well.
It's pretty much a Friday. You sure you don't want a little shot in that?
I mean, I would, yeah.
Yeah.
This would- I think I said last time I had this severed lime that this would be perfect for a tequila soda.
Yes, you did. And Hank, what do you have?
Oh, I've got the mango chainsaw.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
Just actually, I was thinking about making a drink with the same name, so I'm a little bit upset that Liquid Death took that from me.
You were thinking
Yeah.
the Chisholm Mango Chainsaw?
The Chisholm chainsaw.
Yes, the Chisholm chainsaw.
Dude, that's just liquid death mango and whatever your alcohol of choice is. That's a
It's-
Chisholm
wow.
chainsaw.
It's really true.
Wow.
Alex here says play clock hit 0 and the ball was being snapped just as I went for my comment. Well done, folks.
Yep.
Jose said no delay of game. Good omen for tomorrow.
There was no delay of game, but Allie got a false start, a holding, and a personal foul right as it's all started.
But
No
so-
one
so-
else saw that.
So does this mean that we have to make up like a 1st and 30, but we got a whole show to do it?
Yep, exactly.
okay.
Let's start chipping away at it.
I have to start calling her Garrett Bowles.
That's mean. The internet on my computer died. It was just a little chaotic, but we didn't get the delay of game. That's what counts.
Around here, we like accountability. Just put it on yourself and move on.
Or just throw your hands up in the air and be like, me?
No,
What?
no.
Holding?
Just do Tom McMahon. It's all my fault. I
right.
screwed up.
Yeah.
Everyone should be mad at me,
Yeah.
not, whoever. Brandon McManus.
Yep.
Which,
Wow.
what a night for him.
Interesting.
What a week for him.
Yeah, seriously.
I was trying to write last night, but like usually there's a little bit of Twitter drama. And you're like, oh, okay, what happened? But then when you're like working and it takes forever to figure out what's even happening, that was a brutal one.
I still don't know what happened.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly.
I'm like
if
at
we
90%.
want to open up this can of worms, I can give you guys at least a little bit of a rundown. Brandon McManus got trolled on Twitter, took the bait after the game. We talked about it. Remember, it was the
Yep.
1-800-CONTACTS
Yep,
or something?
yep.
He threw his teammates under the bus.
Yeah.
Very obviously.
Yeah.
And then he was able to, like, the guy who's been trolling him just, like, kept going and kept going. And in an attempt to clap back at him, Brandon McManus tweets out that, like, the two of them together are donating $10,000 to a charity, almost like they had like made peace, right? And they're gonna make a donation to this charity.
Right.
Well, that all sounded good and fine until the other guy said, "I have nothing to do with this. I don't know what he's talking about." Which,
Yep.
again, is a troll. You have to kind of
Yep.
take everything
Sure,
with a grain
sure,
of
sure.
salt.
But when it comes to donating to charity, you feel like you would take some responsibility for that, or you would take some
Credit?
Yeah, credit. That's the word.
It was really weird. The guy denied it. And everyone's like, why did you choose this charity?
Yeah.
Then the charity had like a kind of like funky website. It is a real charity, was able to confirm that.
Okay.
So it was just a really odd thing. And like, all I can say about this without, jumping to any conclusions or anything like that is just,
well, then what's this all about?
it's just use the mute button, use the block button. You're a professional athlete.
Yes.
You don't need to be going down into the mud with the trolls.
No, and the crazy thing too is with the kicker position, you would think that's such a mentally tough position. And Brandon has used that to his advantage so many times. I mean, 10 for 10 in a Super Bowl run. He was a huge reason the Broncos won the Super Bowl. I'm just surprised that a random internet troll is able to get in his head.
Yeah, I am
you
too.
You have to think though that like at some point tomorrow on game day he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna prove it to that guy. You hope it's not
that
like
would be
as he's
bad.
going. It's gonna cross his mind. Like with all this drama, this thing is going to cross his mind at some point tomorrow. And I would make a bet that it's gonna cross his mind at some point during the game. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, remember that thing that happened? We're gonna stick it to him."
I hope not.
Everyone
He's gonna
needs-
stick it to him by making an extra point.
Everyone needs a friend who they can rely on to tell them if this is a good dunk on someone and if it's worth it. Like, for me, it's Allie. I'll always be like, is it worth it for me to tweet this? And she'll be like, probably not. Or she'll be like,
We talk about the amount of times I've been like, probably not.
See, that's the thing about
most
those
times.
tweets.
And then I don't do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's like, all right, that's actually funny and like not mean and it won't get you in trouble. So
Yeah.
go ahead and send it.
Yeah.
I don't think BMAC had that person on this.
Vaughn got traded.
Fair enough.
Vaughn now trying to make good friends with OBJ. I guess he is
They
good
are good
friends with
friends,
him, but I
yes.
mean, trying to lure him to Buffalo.
Also, is that OBJ healthy? Do we even know that?
No, I don't think he's healthy until like the end of this month ish. At least that's kind of like what the original.
That'd be like the
timeline was.
earliest. Like it's
Yeah.
if it's just a pure ACL tear, you
Every-
sometimes get back starting in 9 months.
Every
Yeah.
time a receiver on any team takes a false step, their entire fan base says, sign OBJ.
It's very true.
And it's like he can't play. Not
Nope.
ready yet. Not even. I don't think he's close. But
he's living it. He's doing the OBJ World Tour.
yeah. Speaking of injuries, where are we at on that front, Zach?
Good news, and I hate to say that when it comes
Yeah.
to injuries when talking about other teams. So I'll start with the good news for the Broncos.
Okay.
Russell Wilson not on the game status report. He has no designation, meaning he is completely ready to go. So he said he was super confident he was going to play, and that is backed up by today. Russell Wilson is going to play. Great news.
Yes, great news.
Yes, great news.
But then there's some bad news as well. Quinn Meinert's not going to play. We've talked
Not
about just
expected, yeah.
how much of an upgrade he would be on the offensive line if he does play. He's out. PJ Locke's out. Jonathan Cooper's out. Aaron Patrick's out. No surprise on any of those guys. And really, those guys just a blow to the special teams unit. So Dwayne Stukes, got to have some guys step up. Questionable. Darius Phillips, Tyree Cleveland, again, special teams guys. But then Billy Turner listed as questionable. I would be shocked if he played.
Yeah. Why? What are we wasting our time with on that?
No, I don't. And it's funny when I tweeted it out. Pretty much all of the replies to that were, "No, he's out."
Yeah,
No, out.
yeah. That was my exact. Like of all times to play him, you're gonna do it on a Thursday, unless he was ready to go last week.
Yeah.
And so you were saying like, let's just buy him 4 more days.
Yeah.
Has he been a full participant in practice? Though?
I believe today he was a full participant, but the rest of the days this week he was. Where is he? He was limited every single day.
He's not playing.
Yeah,
don't
and
think
and honestly, it just doesn't make sense, especially week 4. It just doesn't make sense to rush, or week 5, it doesn't make sense to rush him back. But especially, is he the difference between you winning and losing this game? No, I don't think so. They don't have a Nick Bosa. They don't have a Joey Bosa. They don't have an incredible pass rusher. And it's also not like Billy Turner is going to come in and you can count on him being like a tremendous upgrade. The guy hasn't played football. I mean, literally, he hasn't had he's maybe had 3 full practices since joining the Broncos back in the spring.
Yeah, it's maybe the Chargers game. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Also, Quinn Miners, they call him a guard/center. I went back down the rabbit hole, and it has always been guard/center on the injury report. Does make you think, though. Like,
Why are they doing that?
I mean, yeah, because, Lloyd played potentially the worst game of his career this week. And Graham Glasgow has been kind of fine. Not, like, good, but compared to the rest of the line, fine.
If I was gonna put someone at center, it would be Glasgow.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But this, I don't know. It caught my eye.
Catches your eye for Monday night against the Chargers, potentially.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Especially with how tomorrow goes. That's an interesting thing. But then the other, unfortunately, good news for the Broncos. Fortunately from the Broncos, bad news for the Colts. They're without Jonathan Taylor. That is official. Ryan and Henry, we were kind of calling that bluff all week. It just would have been crazy. But now that's official. And that means that the Colts are without their best offensive player and their best defensive player. And we're talking about a team that's 1-2-1, has the worst offense in the NFL, and just an average defense. And now, to be fair, they've had that average defense for the most part without Shaquille Leonard. So it's not like the defense is getting much worse from where they've been. But I mean, the Broncos are just handed a gift right now, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to even explain, who Jonathan Taylor is to the Colts, but like the closest you could do is Derrick Henry, taking away Derrick Henry from the Titans. Like that's the closest comp.
Yeah.
And I guess, think of it this way: if the Broncos were not playing in this game, let's just say it was the Chargers or even the Raiders, and you were a Broncos fan on the outside looking in, and you saw that Jonathan Taylor wasn't playing, you'd be like, the Raiders or the Chargers are winning.
Yep,
100%. And if it weren't for the dark cloud that's over Broncos country right now, just in terms of the vibes around the team, everyone would be saying this should be the free pass to a win. You took away their best player. You took away the best player on the worst offense.
Yep.
That should be a death sentence.
It absolutely should be.
And I think, again, if we weren't a little too close to this, we'd be saying Broncos should win this easily. But everyone's a little bit trigger shy on saying things like that because the Broncos haven't backed really anyone up on anything they've said about this team so far.
And just what's crazy is the Broncos, just how they're viewed right now in that dark cloud over their head. They're still only a 3-point favorite. In fact, last night they were a 3.5-point favorite on DraftKings. That number has come back down to 3. I thought it was going to go to 3.5, 4.5 when Jonathan Taylor was officially ruled out and Russell Wilson was officially ruled in. No, it hasn't changed at all. So I think this is a great opportunity for the Broncos to show, especially the offense, that they're alive enough to be considered a good team. They're not going to prove anyone tomorrow that they're a contender for the Super Bowl, but they've played on 2 primetime games. They lost one of them on Monday Night Football, and everyone now nationally doubts Nathaniel Hackett, probably more than doubts Nathaniel Hackett. And the last one they played, it was all the defense, so there's still a lot of doubting on Russell Wilson. This is a great opportunity, especially without Javonte Williams, especially with pretty much just Melvin Gordon and Mike Boone, who are going to be carrying the load the most. This is a great opportunity for Russell Wilson to show on primetime that, look, I'm still here and I should still be taken seriously.
And, we haven't mentioned this, but Julian Blackmon, their safety, isn't playing either. He's been a starter since he got into the league 3 years ago. That's one of their good young players who is not out there, and now they're starting a rookie with like Rodney McLeod probably coming in. Mm-hmm. Those safeties are not good. And they still have Stephon Gilmore. They still have Kenny Moore. Those are good football players. But all of a sudden, that secondary, even on paper, doesn't look that strong.
Yeah, and that's where you start to think about attacking deep. Exactly. When you take away safeties from a team, that's what pops. That's what the alarms that go off for me is like, all right, start your engines, KJ Hamler.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's honestly the game plan for the Broncos to win. The Colts, one of the things they do extremely well, and probably the only thing they do extremely well on their team, especially this year with Jonathan Taylor just kind of being a average, is they're great against the run. They have the second fewest yards per run allowed. I believe they're like right at 3 yards allowed per run. And then pass, they're just an average pass defense, and especially like Henry was saying with some secondary members being out, this is just a huge opportunity. It does not set up for the Broncos to run the ball 30 times and Melvin Gordon to have 120 yards. I don't think that the Broncos are going to abandon the run saying that, but maybe this is a game where the running backs run 22 times and they get 80 yards, so under 4 yards per carry, but they do enough to kind of wear them down. And then this is a game where Russell Wilson definitely throws for over 200 yards, which is just crazy to say, like, it in that way, but he didn't last week, which is just so bizarre. The over-unders for Russell Wilson passing yards these past few weeks have been like, of course he's going to hit the over, and then he has it, and it's like, what? This is a week for him to easily hit that 230.
Would have hit it easily if Mike Boone just held on to that ball in the last play.
It's true. Yeah.
Or if he held on to the one earlier, or if Melvin caught the one earlier. I'm just thinking of running back drops.
Yep.
Because he only fell, I think, 4 yards short of his total.
Oh, tough.
Yes, very tough.
Yep.
I've got a stat that I think is just the stat that seals this for me on my feelings of the game, and that is Russell Wilson on Thursday Night Football. Russell Wilson, 4th all-time in Thursday Night Football wins behind a couple guys you may have heard of. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Peyton Manning.
That sounds pretty good. Yep.
In his career on Thursday Night Football, Russell Wilson, 9-2. Do you guys know what those 2 losses are?
I don't.
I saw your tweet.
I figured you did. 1, Week 7 of his rookie year, his 7th start ever.
Okay.
2, last season, the game where he got hurt and didn't even finish. Only 2
good.
times he's ever lost on Thursday Night Football. 9 wins in a row in between those 2 games since 2012 to last season when he got hurt. So Russell Wilson is the king of Thursday Night Football and the king of home primetime. That's all I need to know.
I think the home prime time, that's an awesome stat, and I think there's maybe something to it. I don't think that's the biggest thing, but the Thursday Night Football thing is real because there's something different to that.
Yes.
But because there's a whole different setup of this week. It's the most different week that any team can ever have, where you have 3 days with no practices, where you have to start grinding right away, especially at that quarterback position. Russ talked about it yesterday, how he was already watching film on the way home on the plane, and it's just such a different dynamic. Also, just the physicality of it, getting your body ready for that. So I do think there's really something in that, Ryan.
Totally. And I think part of it is you just game plan less. Like, you do everything you can to study up and get as much as you can in. This is kind of a let Russ cook game. Thursday nights, he just goes out there, shows up, and you run a lot closer to the base offense compared to what happens in a given week.
Wow. So simplifying is a good thing for him, or simplifying is a better thing for him than it is for other teams.
Yeah. I like that second one better.
It's kind of like how I used to say, like, I'm not the best of my friends at FIFA, but I'm the best of my friends at FIFA when we're drunk.
Yeah.
Exactly. That doesn't mean you're better drunk. That just means you're less
I'm less bad. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I
Yes.
lose less of my skills.
Yes.
I think this is such a game to let Russ cook out of the gate. Don't wait until the 4th quarter when you need KJ Hamler to put him on the field and throw a 55-yard pass to him. Open the game up with that. It doesn't have to be to KJ, but to Jerry or Cortland. Do that, and then you know what? If it works, if it doesn't work, do that again in the second drive and just keep doing that, especially because what have we seen from this team? They shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over again. It doesn't matter if it's the start of a drive, if it's in the end of a drive. I know what you're laughing at. So eliminate that. Don't try to put together 12-play drives that go 80 yards. Try to just hit one deep. And then if you mess up, well, then you're at least settling for a field goal.
Football Outsiders, with their DVOA, they have Indy as the 27th best passing defense, 2nd best running defense.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Also is the worst team overall.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. Don't abandon Melvin, but this is not a game to rely on him, and that has nothing to do with the fumbling issues. It's just like, if you come into this game saying we're going to run, then you're kind of saying, like, we're not even looking at the opponent we're playing.
Right. It's the whole, like, we don't care about them. We just do us, and that's
Right.
not the right way to approach football.
No, absolutely not.
With that being said, I'm still very confident in Melvin Gordon having a good game, aside from the potential of him fumbling. Like, that I definitely cannot get out of my head. No one in Broncos country can. But other than that, I'm very confident that he is going to perform well as a runner.
I like that, and I think he's going to perform well as a receiver as well. I think we're going to see a great game from him because what's something Russell Wilson has loved doing as a safety net? Checking it down to the running backs. I think Melvin's going to be huge in this game in that respect as well.
Yep.
I really started some stuff on Twitter last night asking about trading for Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
Whew. A lot of people think I'm really dumb. A lot of people really love people from Colorado. That's kind of what I've learned.
It's weird because I'm both.
yeah, exactly. There was that report yesterday, though. Jason Looking-For-It said in the Washington Post that a lot of the execs are telling him they think the Panthers are going to trade Christian McCaffrey. Just as we're talking
Jason
about...
Looking-For one of the ones who's right or wrong?
I couldn't remember, but I saw like...
Okay.
Damn it. It'd be fun, though.
Yeah.
He's so good at catching the ball.
I think he was the one that, when he reported something with the Broncos, there was so much pushback because it's like this dude doesn't talk to anyone with the Broncos.
Oh, boy. As for Christian
Maybe he knows the
McCaffrey,
Panthers.
Henry, it's like I want to be on your side so badly because he's dope. He's from Colorado. He's like a legacy of the Broncos. all of the things except for the fact that he went to Stanford instead of CU. But he has almost everything going for him, and it's just like especially after what we just saw happen to Javonte, it's so hard to imagine investing more into that position to a player who almost more than likely is going to end up getting hurt as well.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at. Is just this guy, since signing his big deal, and it doesn't really have to do with a big deal, but in the past 2 years, he's played in 10 games, not including this year. And I believe 2 of the 4 weeks so far this year, he's been on the injury report for something, if not 3 of the 4 weeks. And that's just, it doesn't, now I think you made the case that he's not actually that much money, but he's still like $10 million.
It'd be $1.5 million this year, then $12 million each of the next 3 years. But none of it's guaranteed. There's like 400,000 guarantees.
Okay. That would be a move if you're going in on this year. If you're saying that this is the year to really go all in. And as we've kind of talked about, even right when the Broncos made the trade for us, this was never the year where it was all in.
Right. The one thing was like, the last 2 teams to win the Super Bowl were brand new quarterbacks. Like that's like the one thread you could kind of hang on to. Otherwise, you kind of had the feeling it's a building process. You got to get there eventually. It would be exciting to see CMC in orange and blue.
He just looks so good right now. I went back and watched his game last week. He just looks incredible. He looks as good as he ever has. Like Saquon's the only player who's put up a higher percentage of his team's yards from scrimmage so far this year.
Did you know that Saquon Barkley is the lowest? So he has the most fantasy points of any running back in football right now. It's the lowest through 4 weeks since like Curtis Martin in the early 2000s. Running backs just aren't producing at nearly the same rate anymore.
Offenses aren't.
Yeah, exactly. I've been crushing on unders.
And that's really smart. And maybe we'll get into that with our Broncos pick. But one more thing on C-Mac. I mentioned how Russ has just loved relying on the running backs out of the backfield. I think that would honestly be the most exciting part of bringing him in. Obviously, he'd still be a runner, but that would be really exciting. And
the same thing that you feel about Melvin, though, of like worrying every time he runs the ball, he's going to fumble it. With CMC, it's every time he runs the ball, you're worried he's going to get hurt.
100%. And that's why I'm out on it, is just because that's who he's proven to be right now. But you still do have about 3 weeks until the trade deadline, so you don't need to be making decisions now. If the Broncos roll some off and then you're thinking, okay, maybe this is their year, then you think more seriously about it. But if they're right around 500 still and the Panthers are in it enough where they want too much for C-Mac, then it's going to be pretty obvious that that's not in the cards.
The best case that you made, and I think it was in our texts last night, was just maybe the owners want to make a big splash. Or did you say that on Twitter too?
I didn't say on Twitter.
The Walton Penner group comes in and they're like, man, what would make people love us more than bringing the Colorado kid home?
Yes.
The
Ed offense
McCaffrey's
needs juice.
Son.
You need to add something to that passing game.
But the owners aren't getting credit for this.
No. But it would just be like
the Broncos do.
The vibe. It would really help the vibes, I think.
Yep. And
for a week until he's hurt.
I said I'll love it for 10 minutes until he gets hurt.
And I will say, you don't need to be competing for a Super Bowl to add. This season's about getting the playoffs. So you have something to build off of. If you finish the season with 7 wins, you're 2 years out at best from competing for anything. And so if you can just take a little bit of a step, find a little bit more of an identity, give yourself something to build, give yourself something to build off of. I don't hate the idea of adding to a 5-5 team.
Yeah, and at the same time, you have you need a running back that started next year.
But the question is, okay, then money actually is a factor. If you're keeping him for next year too, then you count in 12 mil. Yeah, but there's other guys you have to pay. But then what are you giving to trade for him? It's not like you're just acquiring him.
The rumor from Jason LaCanfora, who he was saying that during the draft they wanted a young player and a first-round pick.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, that's the thing though, is nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing
why
that.
He's still there.
But
exactly.
Then, so, I mean, what does it come down to? Because the Broncos still aren't going to trade a third-round pick. Then they don't have a pick until day 3 next
year. They have 2/3 next year.
They have 2/3?
Yep.
Okay.
And, I mean, I give up more than just a third. It's
okay,
tough.
so then you're giving up the 2/3. And
the
then
thing is, if you're going to use the third-round pick on a running back, which you might not. You might use a 5th or 6th. You just need a running back to start next year somehow. So maybe they do add one, but free agent running backs, there's never anybody there.
No, but going the route of paying running backs isn't the way to go. The Panthers just showed you that with Christian.
Yeah, but you can get out of it whenever.
Yeah, I'm out. Now
Yeah,
that we're
okay.
talking about what you have to give up, and that's nonsense.
So
The other-
what's the max you'd give up? Knowing you're taking the contract and you're taking it for next year too.
I would give up. So next year's not guaranteed.
None of it
But
is.
it's kind of a nice thing to have in your back pocket if
Yeah.
you want. I guess I would give up a day 3 pick. So I give up a 4th.
Okay.
You can't go into next year's draft, especially with George Payton, with no picks in day 1 or day 2.
I disagree on can't. I agree on won't.
Right. So you would give up 2/3?
I give up a third.
2/3. They say that's the price.
A third and a player.
Nope, he's yours at 2/3.
Fine, yeah.
Okay,
that's
there
fine.
you go. Okay, so no day
You drive a hard bargain.
I do it. They just
player?
need that juice. Just any sort of juice would go such a long way in this offense.
A third and Jerry Jeudy for C-Mac.
Third and Albert Owen, it's
There
done.
was a
Third and Albert O, the difference between Albert O and Jerry Jeudy.
you can't afford to trade Judy. You don't have anyone else who gets open.
Okay,
I mean, unless you're planning on playing C-Mac at receiver.
Yep.
good.
Protect him a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let us know. Would you trade knowing what it is? What should we put it at? 2/3 for C-Mac? 2/3 for Christian McCaffrey.
No one ever wants to trade players on the team. So
That's very true. Let us know in the comment section. And speaking of the comment section, hit us with a thumbs up on YouTube if you're tuning in. We'd really appreciate it. Subscribe as well. We got a little different pod schedule this week with the game. We're going to be doing tomorrow after the game. We got one coming Friday as well.
tailgate tomorrow too.
Oh, tailgate tomorrow. So you got to smash that subscribe button, turn on alerts, and give us a like so you know when anything's coming.
And that's tailgate show, which will also
Be the tailgate.
yes, exactly. We'll also have a real tailgate. A lot of tailgating going on.
So much tailgate.
That's not something to complain about.
No, it's not.
I love Thursday night football, but I gotta say, I've thought many times today, oh, it's Friday. No, it's Saturday. No, it's Wednesday? Like, what is going on right now?
For us though, it's kind of like having a Friday off, type of thing.
Right.
Because our week is just like so microwaved. It feels like it's a short week, like a literal, like there's less days in the week.
Yeah, it's like a Saturday, except we have a pod in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And the pod's great, so.
Exactly.
Something else you gotta check out.
Oh, we're getting score predictions on the other side.
Yeah, we're getting score predictions
right,
on the
let's do
other
it.
side. Little tease. Thanks for helping me out there. Ryan mentioned it. The tailgate. Tomorrow we've got the tailgate. You've got to come swing by. Make sure to get your tickets beforehand. Of course, it's in the Sports Fan parking lot right outside of the stadium. It is the best view. Something we don't talk about a lot. It's the best view of downtown in the stadium you can get while you're throwing back some Breck brews. You're eating some delicious food. So make sure to check us out. And members get a discount. So make sure you use that special member link if you're a member in order to get your tailgate tickets. It's going to be a blast tomorrow.
My girlfriend, her brother is coming for this game. His flight lands at 3:30 tomorrow.
Ooh.
And we've been saying for months, like, change that flight. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, it's like $80, $100, whatever. And it's like, well, nobody's picking you up. You have to Uber to the game, and you don't get
You
to
hit traffic.
You get 1 hour at the tailgate, maybe. It's just a
Still hasn't changed it?
no. I just
Damn.
can't believe it.
Does he watch the show?
I hope so. This is my last plead.
All right. I also want to remind you guys to brutally murder your thirst. And
Yes.
just watch it die the slow, painful death that you can when you have some liquid death.
Wow.
That's what it does.
That is.
It'd be a really
It
slow
just
death
like
if you were getting
wrings the neck of your thirst.
if you were getting chopped up by a mango chainsaw.
Yeah, just,
That would take forever to
I
kill
don't think
you.
so. I think that would kill you pretty
depends
much
on where
right
to
away.
start.
I mean, but it's made of mango.
Oh,
Yeah. If it was made of mango.
I'd hope it's some really unripe mango, so it's hard. Or could you imagine if
Up
it's
the
like
dome.
wet? Oh man, no
I
way.
don't think it would kill you if it wasn't that way.
It would
You
just
have
take a
your mouth
long
open, just
time.
enjoying it.
Yeah, but it's not you that's dying. It's your thirst.
That is true.
That's
That is true.
dying.
Mango can
which
cut through water.
It is. Mango can
Famously.
kill thirst. They've got 3 flavors actually. Severed lime, which is my favorite so far. I haven't even had the mango one yet, which is crazy because it's a black and gold can. You'd think I would want to try that one first.
Simple
Said you
man.
got the CSU colors. Go
I
Rams.
know,
Wow,
but
go Rams.
I'm a big lime guy. I love lime.
Yeah.
I just had these chicharrones that were tahini flavored from, I think it's called 4505 is like the company. Oh my God, so much lime, so much chili, and I love lime. That's why I've been rocking with the severed lime. They also have the mango. They also have the buried alive, I think it's called.
Yes.
And they also just have straight up mountain water, which actually slaps. And as you guys know, I very harsh critic of water. I pretty much don't like any water in bottles. So the fact that I like the water in can, is
Slaps different.
it hits different. So check out our friends at Liquid Death, and you can see them over at 7-Eleven, King Soopers, all those good places. Go to liquiddeath.com/DNVR to check it out and find their the nearest Liquid Death to you. Murder that thirst.
Throwing it back to the tailgate. When you come to our tailgate, make sure you stop in Sports Fan. It's right there. It's so convenient. You might as well just do it because they have all sorts of awesome things. They have a bunch of different Broncos baseball jerseys. They have stuff that you just can't find anywhere else. That location on Federal is one of 4 in the Denver metro area. There's 2 of them on the 16th Street Mall. There's one in the Park Meadows Mall. Again, they have all sorts of exclusive hat, apparel, accessories, all of that sort of stuff. So make sure that you check out Sports Fan when you come to the tailgate or if you're just around town somewhere.
There we go. And I knew I said something weird when Ryan gave me a smirk, and our guy Alex in the comment section points it out. He says, I said it slaps different.
Slaps different.
Probably meant it's
It's
different.
a combination, dude.
Slaps
That's a
different.
combo.
Well, will we have a combination of our picks? Or are we all going to be going Broncos? My guess is we probably all won't be going Colts. What do you guys think? Score prediction. Broncos, Colts, Thursday Night Ball.
24-10 Broncos.
Ooh, blowout.
Yep. I just don't think that the Colts are going to be able to get something going on offense. The Broncos are able to get a little something going on offense. Baby steps for them. Be really cool to see them score in the 30s. But
be.
that's I'm asking for 1 point at a time.
Yep,
23
there
last
we
week.
go.
Let's go 24 this week. We'll hit 30 by the end of the season.
I love it.
But I really think that the Broncos don't even have to do all that much on defense. Like, just play man, and I think they'll be fine. Now, obviously, it's not always that simple in the NFL, but I'm not scared really by the matchups of anyone other than like Mo Alley Cox on the linebackers. If that's your best matchup from an offensive standpoint, I think it's going to be really hard for them to move the ball. What I would say for the Broncos is they want them. You got to try and do what you can to take away big plays. Without that, I think it's going to be really hard for the Colts to kind of pick you apart and go down the field surgically.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Henry?
I can't say that the Broncos are going to score more points than they have this season. I'll take 1 point off both. I'll say 23-9. Give up a few field goals, no
Okay.
touchdowns.
Same score as Monday Night Football, I think.
Maybe that's a sign.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, 23 points. Yeah, a few field goals in there, a couple touchdowns, enough to not have like a bad week next week, but still have plenty of people upset about something.
Well, you've got to have that. We got 12 days before the next game.
We
Got to be
do.
something to talk about. The Colts, worst scoring offense in the NFL, averaging 14.25 points per game. Broncos, 4th worst, averaging 16.5. I think the Broncos are going to be better than that. I think the Colts are going to be worse than that. I think the Broncos are going to get 17 points. And I think the Colts are going to get 13 points. I have this the closest game for all of us, but especially Thursday Night Ball. It's going to be a slugfest. Russ has been limited, and it's just going to
He's never
be
limited.
a what?
It's unlimited.
He's Mr. Unlimited. But guys, we all have this way under. I've got a 30-point game. Ryan, you've got
34.
34, and Hank, you've got 32.
Yep.
The over-under right now is 43.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from.
We love the under here, and
Also, primetime unders are hitting at a historic rate.
really,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess unders for the most
Just
part.
like
but especially
every
in
week,
primetime.
the primetime games are under.
Yeah, the only concern I have about this game, so I don't love the Broncos covering the 3.5. I do love them winning this game. I'm very confident about that. But this game kind of reminds me of a few years ago. Giants coming into town. They have
don't
an
do this
old
to us.
Eli Manning that can't do anything. Pretty immobile quarterback. A team that has really...
They were starting like 3 practice squad wide receivers.
Exactly. Their wide receivers were demolished. It was a primetime game again.
Sunday Night Football.
And they came in and just steamrolled the Broncos. Now, obviously, big differences between those teams. Broncos had Trevor Siemian. As much as I love Trev, he's no Russell Wilson here. But like Matt Ryan, Eli Manning, probably 2 comp quarterbacks then. That's the only thing that really scares me is just like, what if Matt Ryan, this is his game where he like puts the team on his shoulders? And I think Matt Ryan is so overrated and has been. So I'm not worried about that. But that's just the only comp I can really think of why to be scared.
Last time Matt Ryan came to Denver, it was not pretty. It was like the beginning of the narrative that the Broncos can't cover tight ends and running backs at the time out of the backfield. It was Tevin Coleman and it was Devontae Freeman. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Matt Ryan ended up throwing for over 300 yards with like 150 of it going to those two. That was the last time he was here. He's very capable. Like, I don't want to underestimate him too much. And the Broncos have historically struggled against these older quarterbacks, like you're mentioning. But that being said, there's no excuse for the defense this week to not bow their backs and stop the run like you have the first 3 weeks and get after the passer like you had the first 3 weeks. Last week was a failure in both of those regards. There's no reason you can't do that this week. The offensive line is subpar. The quarterback can't move. He's not having a good season. His arm seems down. This should honestly, like, it should be a blowout.
It should be. And Ryan, what I think the Broncos should do is they should have 8 in the box and bring 6 to 8 guys. Okay, maybe not 8. They should bring 6 to 7 guys every single play. Okay, maybe 5 to 7 guys every single play, and focus 1 on stopping the run, and then 2 just getting after Matt Ryan. If this secondary gets burned, well, okay, good job, Matt Ryan. You did the unthinkable. But it's not like the Raiders had a great running game coming into last week. So even though the Colts don't have Jonathan Taylor, that's still my number 1 priority on defense.
All right, both of you said you can't predict the Broncos to score more points than they have this season.
Yep.
Can you predict Melvin Gordon to have less fumbles per game than he's had this season?
Man, I mean, he's got to, right? He's got to hold on to the ball. I think the coaches are to the point where they are literally telling him, go down. It's okay to go down if fighting for more yards, which they want running backs to do. If fighting for more yards is going to cause a fumble, I'm going to say no, he holds on to it. No fumble. I'm going out on a limb. Plus 150.
Wow.
I don't know if those are actually the lines.
Unfortunately, they don't give you lines on that.
That is such a shame. I'll say no fumble.
Wow.
I may have to switch. If you're saying no fumble, I'm going to have to switch.
I hate it. He all he does so far is fumble. Like it's just fumble. But nobody fumbles this much. Yeah. Nobody does. Yeah. It's impossible. So I have to say no because on a sportsbook it'd be like minus 400. Right, even though he has been fumbling, like you can't pick a guy to fumble again.
I know. Meanwhile, I'm going to the game, and I was thinking back on this. The last 2 times I've been in the stadium, Melvin Gordon has had 3 fumbles.
Oh no!
But
and how many of them have gone for touchdowns?
0.
Just 1.
0. Yep, it was 2 against the Niners.
Okay.
Last Sunday night.
Yep.
And then the one before that. Oh, did this one go for a touchdown? The one against the Chiefs in Week 18? I don't think it did.
I don't remember that one. Okay. So you're. I thought you were at the one where Teddy gave the bad dive.
Oh, I was at that one too.
Oh, but that was okay. So we want to extend it like last 4 games you were at.
But I believe after that Eagles game was the Chargers game last year, which I was at, and he did not fumble in that one.
There we go.
So God, it's only 4 fumbles in the last 4 games I've been at. God,
that
and you're gonna be there,
and I'm gonna be there. It's not looking good.
Have to take the over.
Headline of the game story from the AP after that Chiefs game. Bolton's fumble return sparks Chiefs 28-24 win over Broncos. That was a Melvin Gordon fumble return.
That wasn't the Drew Lock one where he tried to swim move with the ball.
Oh gosh.
Nope. I believe that was the Melvin Gordon.
Game? Okay.
Yep. Melvin Gordon lost 4 yards and fumbled.
Oh man.
At the Kansas City 13. At the Kansas City 13, 86-yard return.
It's just unbelievable. I think I'll just go law of averages here with you guys and say it doesn't happen.
It can't.
Yeah.
But my God, if it does, I'm gonna be scared of what's gonna happen.
Serious.
Like a riot is gonna break out.
I mean, no question, he's going to be booed like no other. I don't think they can put him back in the game,
No.
even if it happens on the first play of the
No.
game. I think you have to go Mike Boone the rest of the way. And what happens after, though? Let's say there's a fumble at any point in this game by Melvin Gordon. Does he touch the ball the next game against the Chargers?
I kind of feel like this is going to be one of those things where there's like a documentary about it 10 years from now. And it's like Bill Buckner, like straight up, like he fumbled 6 times in 6 games and his career was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 times in 6, and that would be it
Yes.
this week. Yeah.
It's Isaiah McKenzie, 6 in 6 games.
Oh my God.
Wow. His career's doing just fine now. Crazy enough.
Yeah.
He was a lot younger.
That
Although,
still
man,
bothers
he-
me. There's so many people saying, like, how'd the Broncos let him go? And it's like, you can't keep a guy who does that.
This
Like,
guy-
if you fumble that much, you have to get rid of him.
Yes.
I
You
don't
have to.
watch all of the Bills games, and certainly I'm only watching bits and pieces. I swear I see him drop a ball every single game.
Oh, really? I was going to say, I swear I see him in the end zone every game.
That too. I think Josh Allen in one of the games, he had McKenzie on a slant. It went right through his hands. The very next play, they
Pick.
went like McKenzie on a slant, and it was a touchdown.
Oh, okay. So there's the one in week 1 where it just hit off his chest and then went right to the defender.
Oh, yes. There's
Wow.
also that one.
Jeez. Yeah, it's everyone again. Just everyone's got to try to send positive vibes to Melvin.
Yes,
it's like
yes,
it's the
yes.
only thing we can try
yes,
to do.
Yep.
Yes, and if you want the Broncos to win, you have to be cheering for Melvin Gordon.
Yes, 100%. Don't go seriously. Don't be booing him just for going out there on the field.
No. Because then you're also, you're booing the offense, you're booing Russ, you're booing
Right.
you're booing everything.
So let's try and rally around Melvin. Give him a chance here to be the guy, because I think that's what he needs to be for the Broncos. He has to go like a good few games without it happening.
Which is not a big
Gotta
ask.
start one game at a time, right?
Yeah,
This guy
but
needs to not fumble for like 3 games.
that's that feels like a huge ask right now.
I know.
It does. It really does. So Ryan, you had 24-10.
Yeah.
All right, I love it. And Henry, you had 23-9.
Yep.
Let's get to some other games in the division right now, and don't let us forget to do our survivor picks after this.
Oh, yeah.
Chargers at Browns. Is this a couple 2-2 teams, I believe?
It is a couple 2-2 teams, and one of these teams is going to be 3-2. One of these teams is going to be 2-3. The 3-2 team will be the Browns.
So the Chargers are losing.
Yes.
Yep. Shocker.
Wow.
This is actually a really good game.
Yeah, well, it's a
Yeah.
kind of a clash of styles,
time.
where the Browns really want to muck it up, run the ball, all that stuff. Where obviously the Chargers want to let Herbert cook.
It doesn't roll off the tongue, does it?
Doesn't.
No. Let Justin cook. No,
No.
not really. No.
Yeah, it's bad. I'll take the Chargers, though.
Henry, don't do this to me.
Yeah, I have to. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, if the Chargers get up early, the Browns aren't coming back. If the Browns get up early, the Chargers can come back. So you kind of have like this, like 75%
It's an interesting way of
Chargers.
looking at
Yeah,
it. It's a little simplified, but
they're talented enough. I don't think they're just gonna get totally run over. They could though.
They really could. And this is going to be a Chargers game for me. Just the better quarterback isn't even close.
I'm just going with the home team here.
It's fair. It's very fair. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's like a 2-point game in Vegas.
Yep, for sure.
All right, and last one, Monday Night Ball. So we start with the AFC West Broncos on Thursday night, end with the AFC West with the Raiders at Chiefs.
Yeah, so here's what I think is going to happen. The Broncos are going to win tomorrow night. Everyone's going to be feeling good. And then come Monday Night Football, the Chiefs are going to beat the Raiders by so many points that it actually takes the wind out of our sails. And everyone's like, oh, my God, if we can't even beat the Raiders and the Chiefs can beat them by 31, we're all in big, big trouble. So, yeah, 41-10 Chiefs.
Woo! Was it last year that the Raiders beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, or was that 2 years ago?
I think it was last year.
If it was last year, then Ryan, I'm with you. It's gonna be a blowout. The line is 7, and I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I had the Bucks on Sunday, and obviously that didn't work out. I could really see how the Raiders would go in there and beat the Chiefs. They have the pass rush to make a mess. They have, like, Nate Hobbs will make, like, a play or two in the middle of the field. Like, Derek Carr is capable with Devonta Adams of putting up a bunch of points. Josh Jacobs, the Broncos fixed Josh Jacobs. But, like, I just can't not pick the Chiefs after what happened to me this week. And so I have to take the Chiefs.
Yep, very fair. Would you guys say the AFC West has been a little disappointing so far?
A lot disappointing.
Okay, a lot. Well, we have been disappointing in our AFC West picks. In first place in our AFC West picks is Ryan,
Hey.
Damn.
Henry, and myself.
All tied. Whoa.
We're all tied at 5-8.
Oh.
So
Sounds like the AFC West.
Henry and I will have the same record after this week. And Ryan, you'll either be one game ahead of us
Or one
or
game.
one
Oh,
game
wow.
behind. So that Chargers-Browns game, lot riding on it. And another update for you, our season-long teams.
Every time I pick against the Chargers, the chat
they love
slubs
it. Especially Jose. Especially Jose. Man, 2 weeks we got an interesting one. Broncos-Chargers.
Sure do.
Could both be 3-2 or 2-3.
Yeah,
They could
it's this game is so important for the Broncos. It's
Tomorrow.
yes. I mean, if they win that one, I'll feel confident going, forward. If they don't, this is like a big time look in the mirror 12 days. Like, who really are you? Because
Completely agree.
Team with Christian McCaffrey.
the Colts are bad.
The Colts are really bad, and then you're like, exactly, but who are you? You lost to the Seahawks, you lost to the Colts, you barely beat the Texans, you barely beat the 49ers, but like you said, that one's looking
win.
a bit better, and then you lost to the Raiders, and then that's when you'll be thinking, well, shoot, what's it going to look like when they actually play a good team?
Yep.
So for our season standings, in third
For
place.
what? Season standings of what?
Our season standings of our season-long teams, our draft teams.
Oh,
what do we
yes.
call this? I never know what to call it.
Um,
I have season-long teams is my headline. It doesn't really ring.
I'll think more on
Okay,
it.
okay.
Teams.
But Ryan, as you're thinking, you don't have to think long because you're in third.
Okay.
You
Sucker.
got 17 wins on your schedule.
Have you been
Henry's-
tallying the losses?
I have not been. No.
Doesn't matter, really.
I'm just interested in what
That's
the
true.
record
They
really
could conflict a little.
Okay, I can do
They
that
could
next
conflict
week.
a little.
Henry, you have 19 wins in second place.
Oh, no.
And your boys in first with 25.
Okay, I thought it could be worse.
is. Who's on my team again?
You have the Bucks, so you got a loss this week.
Yeah.
The Broncos,
Okay.
Bengals,
Yeah.
Colts,
Let's see where this is going wrong.
Titans, Raiders,
Oof.
Cowboys,
Okay.
Panthers, Jets, and the football team.
That's like you were just like drafting from the bottom up. That sounds like the top 10 picks in the
The
worst teams
Bengals
draft.
and the Bengals and the Colts
Oof,
really
yeah.
killing me.
Titans
Yeah,
not helping either.
3 and 4.
They've got Titans actually have 3 really easy games
Oh, that's
up
good.
next. They might be
Coming up.
like 5-2.
Wow. So that game's now going to look harder than it looked
Yeah,
after
well,
like the
yeah,
first
there's a
two.
chance.
What's your squad?
I've got the Bills, Chargers, Chiefs, Eagles. Eagles steal the draft,
Yeah,
fourth
that's
round.
definitely
Cardinals, Patriots, Dolphins, Bears, Giants, and Browns. So, still strong back half. And then Henry, you've got the Packers, Rams, Ravens, 49ers, Saints, Vikings, Steelers, Jaguars, Lions, and Falcons.
I feel good about like the very end of mine. It's just like the Rams are killing me.
Yours is yours. You have your bottom tier teams aren't
Falcons,
that
Lions, Jags,
bad.
yeah.
But if my top tier teams just actually start playing like that, it'll
Yeah.
go a long way for me.
Well, Ryan, you're going to get one win likely tomorrow with the Broncos and Colts. You got them both on your squad.
Oh yeah, I have a tie. Please give me credit for that in my.
You do, sure. I will give you half a point for that. Okay, Survivor. Last thing we've got to do, and as I said yesterday, a big development. One of us is out.
Oh, okay.
One of us is out.
The way you delivered that made me think that both of us were out.
Ryan, I picked the Packers last week.
Okay.
Henry, Ryan picked the Packers last week.
Oh.
Ryan, Henry picked the Detroit Lions.
What a
who
dumb
lost
pick.
last
I panicked.
week. I mean,
The Lions.
the Seahawks
I didn't think they were a
beat them.
threat.
Isn't it so crazy just how unbalanced the Lions are? The worst defense in the NFL, and I think the best scoring
Scoring-wise,
offense.
yeah.
Or second best.
Yeah, it's
Best.
one of those two.
Best. That's so awesome.
Insane. But I mean, Detroit's got to love this, right? If they're like going to be really bad, at least they're exciting.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that team is fun to watch every
Yes.
single week.
Yes. Who would have ever?
I watch
would
them
you-
play, and I'm like, how do they do this? How did
Yeah.
they score touchdowns?
It's so true.
They have 11 more points than the Chiefs in second place.
Unbelievable.
The Chiefs.
Do you have Jared Goff's stats?
They're just stupidly good.
So is he their quarterback next year?
I mean, they're not going to have a draft pick high enough to
That's
get
true.
one.
They
That's
are
really
1-3.
That's
We
fair.
we can
Okay.
cool it a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay.
But they're going to beat, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. Completed 61% of his passes, 281 a game, 11
okay.
touchdowns, 3 sacks. I mean, interceptions, 5 sacks.
11-3.
About 100 passer rating.
You would take that. Would you take that over Russell Wilson's 4-1 right now?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a knock to Russ. I say that in like a very big compliment to Jared Goff.
Yeah, I've just been taking the under like in every game, except for the ones that involve like the Chiefs or the Lions.
The
So
Chiefs are the
weird.
Lions.
But-
That's so weird to say.
But I realize it's just because every week I watch the Buffs and the Broncos, and scoring points looks so hard. Yeah. And then I'm like, how are these other teams doing this?
So
What's their secret?
It's so true. It's so crazy watching primetime football with good teams that can score because it's exactly right. It's like, is the field bigger?
Right.
Like, what's happening?
Why does it look so hard for us?
All right, let's get our picks in for this week's Survivor picks. I can go first if you guys need some more time. I don't want to feel like Henry after this week, but I'm going to go the
Good call.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh.
Which makes me feel a little Henry style there. They're playing the
Yikes.
Texans. But I think Trev's got me here.
All right. Have I used the Bills yet?
Ryan has not used the Bills. Is this the time to burn them?
Actually, yeah. Yep.
Bills. Okay,
Give me the Bills.
who do they have?
They have the Steelers against Kenny Pickett, and they're 14-point favorites.
Yeah, that one's gonna hit. Yep, you're gonna stay alive another year or another week.
I've got to burn a team, right?
Gotta
So
burn
you
the
want
team.
to? You're actually trying.
I'll take
to,
the Jets.
Trying to lose here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'll take the Jets.
and it doesn't matter for Henry's,
Nope.
but that's one you burned. Man, I hope the Jets win. That would be great.
Take off the Dolphins.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. You just want to burn a bad
Right.
team.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
You would never
I
pick
did.
otherwise.
You did. Okay,
I did.
we'll see how it goes, man. What an action-packed segment. I kind of like these short weeks. We fit everything in,
Yeah.
and the short weeks mean you can get in on the Denver Broncos over at DraftKings Sportsbook on Thursday. And I believe they're going to have their early win boost again, so you can get in on that. Broncos 3-point favorites, but they also have so many props up there. If you're like Ryan and you really like Melvin going off for a game this week, his props over at DraftKings, I think they're set at 51.5 for rushing.
Big Melvin guy.
Big Melvin
Everyone knows
guy.
that about me.
I think Cortland Sutton's at 65, so you want to get in on those props, you can go over to DraftKings Sportsbook. But if you're a new user and want to get in, you bet $5 money line on any NFL team, you win $200 in free bets immediately, which you can use on any game in the NFL, any game in sports. So head to the App Store now, download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and use promo code DNVR when you sign up in order to get $200 in free bets. That's by placing a $5 money line bet on any team. It doesn't even have to win. Just use promo code DNVR when you sign up.
Also get some beef from our friends over at Hassel Cattle Company, and if you want to try it out, just come by the tailgate tomorrow because we will have the grill fired up with Hassel Cattle Company meat slabbing on there. You know, you can smell those smells of that delicious Wagyu beef
Love those
grilling
smells.
on the grill. A little smoke billowing from the corner of the tailgate over there. All you
A
want
good picture.
is a Wagyu beef sausage or a Wagyu beef burger. Those are the things that we have over at the tailgate. And those are just a few of the things you can get from our friends over at Hassel Cattle Company. And you can get 20% off that delicious Wagyu Texas beef by using the code DNVR20. So use the code DNVR20, get you some delicious Hassel Cattle Company beef.
That sounds amazing. Is that it?
That is it.
That's it. All right, should we hop into the comment section? Hit some super chats first.
Yep, let's do it.
First one coming in from our guy, Brian Parra, says, stopping by to remind y'all, one Melvin hater
Day
here.
one
Oh,
Melvin.
day one Melvin hater here. Wow. Thanks for paying us money for that.
Oh,
Brian.
man, I just realized that, like, the original Melvin hate stemmed from Phil.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phil
Oh.
will be in the building on Thursday and likely going to touch the ball.
Likely gonna touch the ball. How crazy
There
is
is a
that?
dark picture out there.
There is a very
I don't have
dark
to paint
picture
it, but
out
you guys
there.
can imagine it.
Yep.
So, on the Denver Broncos Twitter account, we put out today, are you worried about a Philip Lindsay revenge game? Has 219 likes, 58 comments, and the comments are pretty darn split.
Oh, really?
you-
I saw the first few, and they were all no.
Yeah, and there's a lot of no's, but there's some people worried about that. Okay, maybe scrolling through, maybe there are more no's than yeses. Should the Broncos be worried about that?
I mean, it's in the world of things that could happen, and it's definitely the most painful one that could happen. So you have to be a little bit worried about it. That way you're not as caught off guard if it happens. But we've talked about it, guys. Philip Lindsay has not been good since he left Denver. Now, that doesn't mean he can never be good again. And so that's the thing that you keep in mind. I just mostly think of, like, what if the thing happens to Melvin?
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
Philip Lindsay kills it. Like, that's just a nightmare.
Here's why you don't have to be worried about it. For the most part, is Phil, if he's brought up from the practice squad, which I assume he will be, he's going to be their third running back. So he may get 1 to 2 touches. So he's not going to have the opportunities. What if that one touch goes for 54 yards and a touchdown?
Well, I think it's one of those things where they're going to probably... If I'm a coach, I'm looking at a guy going into his home stadium against a team that let him go and saying, like, this guy's getting an opportunity tonight. And, who knows? If he starts off well, then he keeps getting the ball. But again, it's down there low on the list of things that are likely to happen.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
Man, and our poll in the YouTube comment section, 71% of people right now saying they are not worried about that.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to be.
Yep.
All right, Cody with a super chat who says he fumbles in this game, and I'm sending him a bill for a TV because something will probably get thrown through mine.
Wow.
don't think
He
he's
probably
paying
won't
it.
pay that.
Yeah.
No. Just a heads up.
No.
Dylan Smith says, it wouldn't be too much for Saquon. I think would even with him being in a contract year.
The Giants aren't going to give him up now.
No, they have a playoff spot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the guy that they spend a high pick on that they never should have
Yeah.
is finally paying off for them.
Yeah, they're not giving him away. No.
Definitely not.
He is a free agent after this year, but it doesn't make sense for the Broncos to pay big money for him.
Plus, he's not from Colorado, so
Exactly. All right, now let's dive into the comments on the website. First one coming in from RK's burner account. It says, hi, gentlemen. Don't want to be a downer, but when I played football, I tore my ACL, LCL, and PCL on a single play. The doctor that I worked with called it the Holy Trinity injury. Oh, my gosh. It took 2 years of rehab and never was quite the same again. Obviously, I'm not the beast Javonte is, but just to keep Broncos country expectations realistic, we might not see Javonte at full speed for a while. On the bright side, can we talk about how good Montrell has been? Boy, talk about bringing a black hole and then shining a little light through it.
who is the player? There is a player. Oh, J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins had the same injury last year. He is playing right now for the Ravens, and I think he played well recently.
Yeah, I think was it last week he
Yeah.
played well?
Yeah. So just to
It was the same severity?
yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay, that's
just kind of
encouraging.
flush out that negativity just brought here.
And another encouraging thing is Montrell Washington. 22 yards per return this past week. He now looks like the guy we expected, like a really good returner. And I'm confident in him. I don't know the last time we've been able to say that about a returner.
He's gonna get one soon.
He is. It's weird though because what he's so good at is just working his way through tight spaces.
Yep.
So you want he'd have to go a long way through all these guys to actually come free at the end.
Well, all the guys are going this way, and then you're going this way, so you just have to get past 3 or 4, and then you're good.
He's gotten past 6 before.
Well,
though.
that's when he's more dancing
Yeah.
around trying to dodge guys. But Usually the punt returns that happen are like you break one tackle and the defense was overcommitted one way, you go back the other way, you're gone.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Next one coming in from Melbourne Broncos says, my boys. So I tried finding the stats for Montrell Washington to see if he had any drops. Looks like he has none. I'd love to see him at wide receiver more with those sure hands. And boy, do we miss Tim Patrick's safe hands. Cheers.
Hard to drop the ball when they don't throw it to you.
So true. So true.
He did have a really sweet catch that was out of bounds on a slot fade.
Yeah, he did, and he was really reliable as a receiver in training camp, and I was really impressed with that.
Yep.
I'd like to see, honestly, some 5 wide with KJ and Montrell on the field.
Absolutely. Absolutely. At least throw the defense off.
Yes, exactly. Give them a look that they're not used to. And honestly, I've heard of 4 verticals. I'm fine with 5 verticals.
Oh, yeah.
Just let Russ pick which one he likes the best in the moment.
I'm down. I'm down.
I feel like we're going to see a lot of KJ this week.
Yeah, I think so too.
What does a lot mean? Because I guarantee there'll be a lot more than last week.
Definitely. So let's say they have like 65 plays. He's out there for 25.
Okay. Yeah.
Not quite half.
Okay.
Yep.
Way more than last week, though.
Yep.
I'd like to see them use him or Jerry, honestly, in some of those like backfield motions where you're seeing a lot of teams do it. Either you're trying to clear out the linebacker when you send them in like that orbit style motion. I'm fine with doing that with KJ or Jerry. And then the thing is, like, if you get a soft zone, then you just throw it out there into the flat for them and let them make a move and get upfield.
It's incredible how those it's so easy to see those on TV and be like, throw it to him, he's got 7 yards, and then you throw it to him and he gets 7 yards, and you're like, why is the defense allowing that? Well, it's because the rest of the offense is doing things to allow that, but those are just give me plays that, Ryan, absolutely they should be doing.
Yeah, and you can do it to really like one philosophy might be you want to do it to Cortland because he has a better chance of like breaking a tackle with his strength.
Right.
The other philosophy is you do it to Jerry because he's a little more wiggly.
Yeah.
The other option is to do it to KJ because he has more burst. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fine with any of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's something San Francisco did on Monday night with Debo, and it was just like, oh, this is unstoppable.
That Debo touchdown was so sick.
Yes, it was. Did you see him troll Jalen Ramsey after the game? Oh, my goodness.
It's really good. Mark IT Snatch says, hey, guy, TLDR, it's coming, but that moment will take longer than it did with PFM. I think we can just take his word for that, TLDR.
Yep.
Peyton Manning is literally, you could make a case he's best offensive coordinator in NFL history.
Yeah.
Who also happened to play quarterback.
Yep.
And because of that, nothing is going to be the same as it was with him. I think it'll take a little bit longer. And by the way, the one big difference between Matt Stafford's success instantly in LA and Tom Brady's success instantly in Tampa Bay is those guys were going into established systems where they were being plugged in, and the only person that had to learn it was them. And I think that's another thing that maybe was just overlooked a little bit by me and other people coming into this season is just it's not just Russ that had to learn the offense. It was every player on the offense that had to learn this offense. And that's a big difference from like McVay has this system humming. And he's like, man, if I could just have a quarterback who makes a little bit better throws than the one I have right now, that could take us a long way. And he was right. So that's the other thing is all these guys have to get it. It's clearly not working so far in the run blocking realm.
No.
And we knew that. Like that was something even the coaches told us is it's kind of hard to teach this system to these offensive linemen. And like I think it was maybe in OTAs when they're like they're still not trusting it. Like you just have to trust it. It's a big system where you got to believe that the guy next to you is doing his job.
Right. 100%, Ryan. That's why I'm saying I'm giving this offense until midseason until I'm starting to worry about is this offense ever going to come together? But we're only halfway to that point, too.
Right.
So I'm not freaking out yet.
And, I mean, you just have to stay around 500 to that point. If you drop these next two and you're sitting there at 2-4, it's not really going to matter if you get the offense figured out.
Man, you got to be above 500 because after the bye
It's
is
tough.
when it gets so hard.
It does get tough.
The next 4 are Indy, Chargers, Jets, Jags.
Yep.
You should be able to get yourself above 500.
Chargers looks easier than at the beginning of the season. Jaguars looks harder. Colts looks easier. And
Jets
Jets,
is the same.
the same.
Jets suck.
So, I mean, that's 2 games that look easier
Yep.
and only 1 game that looks harder.
By the way, 2 at home, 1 on the road, 1 neutral.
Yep, exactly.
Chargers and Jags feel like 50-50 games.
Yeah.
I
I thought you meant
honestly,
fan
at
base
best.
wise, and I was gonna say, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
that is true. But I think like maybe 40
you
to
can make the case
50%
that's-
chance you win those. Either one of the each of those, and those other 2 you should win.
You can make a case that's 3 home games and a neutral.
You really could. And I don't know what the Jags fans are like in London. I imagine since they've adopted it so much that they have a pretty good fan base. But I know there's going to be a lot of Broncos fans too.
There is going to be a lot of Broncos fans. There's also just like a big, in like an election when there's like a third party and everyone's like, that party's just taking away votes from the other 2.
Right.
That's what it's like in London, where it's just like, oh, I'm just a Vikings fan who happens to be
right.
here. There's like a bunch of just random assorted
Just a
fans.
fan of the brand.
Yeah, just love the league.
Yep. We're all, who was the actor that was sitting at the Super
Rob
Bowl?
Lowe.
Yeah, just a bunch of Rob Lowe's out there.
So maybe I should get one of those NFL hats.
It's great. It's great. What a meme. PS2 comes in and says, hey guys, Broncos fans are the most to blame for the Gordon fumbles. Listen to that again. Broncos fans are the most to blame for the Gordon fumbles. Since joining the team, he has been scrutinized for being a really good running back. From the moment he joined the team, he has never received any love from the fans. People complaining he took Philip Lindsay's job and how he took away carries from Javonte. For the last 3 years, he's been consistently told he sucked and they wanted him off the team. If someone told me for 3 straight years I sucked at my job, I would not have confidence in my skills to do my job. Broncos fans need to do better, plain and simple. These players are human and not just a pawn for your entertainment.
I don't think it's the Broncos fans are most to blame. But that's kind of why I've been trying to get everyone to like try and rally a little bit, because it definitely doesn't help when a guy's in his head if everyone is telling him that he sucks.
It is unfortunate, but the difference between people telling you do your job bad and what you're saying happens with Melvin, the Broncos have said you do your job really well. They gave him $8 million the first year, $8 million the second year, and then this year they brought him back at a significant pay cut, but they're still giving him $2.5 million. You're inside the building, like his bosses, the people who actually care about him and have that should have that impact on him, are telling him that he's doing a good enough job.
It doesn't get any better in this comment. Broncos superfan who says, I appreciate all your coverage and work. I live in San Diego, so I have firsthand experience of Gordon. All 5 Chargers fans down here didn't call him a good running back. Where else in life can you make this many mistakes, apologize, and do the same thing again and be forgiven? This is like a cheating spouse.
Oh my God.
Never liked the Gordon signing. Season is not over yet.
At least he says the season is not over.
Yep.
Because I agree with that.
Yes.
So I guess we can end there.
Melvin did have a couple Pro Bowls while he was there.
He did.
Like, he's a good running
He also
back.
kind of shit on Chargers fans on his way
That is
out. So
true.
I'm sure.
Yes,
Well,
he did.
the few of them that there are don't really like him. So.
Wait, he pooped on him?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. One more thing is, remember, just before his way out, he sat out and left the team. He left the team for like a month of the season.
Yeah. Didn't end pretty for him.
No,
here.
it didn't.
He's got a chance to turn around the vibes this week.
Yeah.
And that is what everyone will be crossing their fingers for. We shall see if it'll happen. We'll see if the Broncos get that win. You will see us tomorrow. Henry and I will be doing the tailgate. You'll see that before the game. You'll see the 3 of us after the game. Should be fun. We'll see you guys then.